What's up, data transformers? This is Bolaji, and welcome to the show where we watch analytics engineers, data analysts, and scientists transform their career. Today, we're talking to the man, the myth, the legend. How does a science fiction reading gamer who studied autonomous driving, who plays the accordion in his spare time, become the analytics engineer helping enterprises all over the world implement the modern data stack? We're about to open his data diary and watch the transformation. Ophilio Predileto de Florianopolis, the favored son of Florianopolis. Please help me welcome Bruno Souza de Lima. What's up, Bruno?
Hey, Bolaji. Hey, everyone. So yeah, that's a quiet introduction. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bruno, I told no lies. Everything I said was true. We are trying to understand how you did it. You have had quite the career. I mean, when you were young, did you ever think that you would be an analytics engineer?
No, I didn't even know what that meant. Yeah.
So, Bruno, we're going to unpack your career data diary. I want to go back to when you were in university. You chose to study autonomous driving. First of all, this sounds really interesting to me. How did you get into autonomous driving, and why did you have an excitement for it?
Okay, yeah, right. So I graduated in mechanical engineering. So I don't have a data or computer science background, but during my mechanical engineering studies, I started learning programming, so like Python and C. Then it caught my interest. So I started becoming more into programming than the like physical mechanical engineering part. And then after starting learning Python, everywhere I was looking, I saw like artificial intelligence things. So artificial intelligence was getting pretty big, and I thought, okay, I want to do that. I want to do machine learning or things like that. And the way I found to merge mechanical engineering with artificial intelligence and machine learning was going to autonomous driving. So for my mechanical engineering thesis, I decided to go on autonomous driving, and it was pretty cool. My thesis was about that there is a university competition for autonomous driving. To have the students, they build they call Formula E for electrical, and something between a kart and a Formula car, and students build it. And you have to make it complete some labs as 100% autonomous. And like my work was just doing the simulation, but I had to study a lot of autonomous driving things to be able to make the simulation.
Wow, this is very, very interesting to me, Bruno. You're right. Artificial intelligence is in everything. I saw some mention of you having experience with not the Internet of Things. You said the Web of Things. I'm not sure the difference, so I'm going to want you to unpack that. But I will say, when I was younger, one of the things that made me interested in technology was, this sounds crazy. Have you ever watched the Terminator movies before? With Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
I saw the first Terminator movie. I said, okay, that's it. I have to get into technology. I have to be one of the good guys. And then I ended up studying computer science. So sometimes it's crazy how we find our career.
Yeah, and the way I went to analytics engineering was more unexpected. We can talk about it later. But you asked about the Internet of Things and Web of Things.
Yes.
You studied computer science. So when you study how computers work, you have 7 layers. And from the bottom is like the physical layer, and the top bottom is the web. There you see the difference between like the Internet and the web. Like when we talk about the web, we are talking about HTTP and documents and pages we navigate through. through. And the internet is more like how you make the computers exchange information and,
That's right.
and all the protocols, the TCP,
TCP/IP.
Yeah.
Woo! You're taking me back to my classes, Bruno.
Yeah. So I mentioned Web of Things because I did my master's on Web of Things. And what I studied on Web of Things was how artificial intelligent agents could navigate through the web and discover information and reason about that information and take actions upon that reasoning. And for that, you need to have a web that is not made for humans, but a web that's made for machines. The web, as it is nowadays, it's a bunch of documents, a bunch of pages that are connected through hyperlinks. And for a human, it's easy to read a page, extract information, and go, okay, I want to go through this other page, through this hyperlink. For machines, it would be better to have not documents with a lot of text, but structured information. You know that in the Wikipedia pages, you have at the right a lot of information. For example, for a city, you have population, you have the state, you have for intelligent agents would be good like a web where it's just like that. You have data, you have, okay, I'm in this city belongs to this state, and the agent can go to that state. And the way you define those relations, you have a language called RDF. In the Web of Things, the idea is to create a web for machines to navigate through, and not humans.
Wow. And how long ago, when did you do your master's? How many years ago was this, Bruno?
It finished like 2 years ago.
The reason that I was curious, Bruno, was because with artificial intelligence advancing so quickly over the past few years, ChatGPT going public and then other tools going public as well, there's been some talk about how the internet is going to be more for these machines than for humans. In fact, you're already seeing it sometimes on social media where some of the comments are automatically generated.
Yeah. And also, when I was doing my master, like ChatGPT was not released yet. But now that's a very interesting topic because I'm not sure how this area I studied of agents in the web, how this area is dealing with this urge of those really advanced chatbots. And
so, Bruno, we're talking about careers. Here's one thing that's been interesting to me, Bruno, in reading about your career. First of all, having the privilege of meeting you and your lovely fiancé at Coalesce 2024 a few months ago, but now also reading all of your accomplishments on LinkedIn and also hearing your name in the DBT community. Often the name Bruno is coming up. We're seeing your writing on the discourse forum. You weren't always this person who was making such big contributions to the DBT and to the analytics world. How did you go from this young person who was studying mechanical engineering and studying the web of things to becoming this force in the analytics engineering world? We want to know because other people want to do the same. What was your origin story? What were the steps?
Okay, right. So when I finished my graduation, I was not sure, like, what do I do now? I don't have a job, and I started trying everything. So I started applying to a lot of different jobs, like robotics and autonomous driving. I tried, and I started studying more Python and started learning SQL at the time. Until that time, I was not familiar with SQL, and one very turning point was when I took the analytics engineering course from Indicium. That is now they are global, but at the time they were just in Brazil, and they are from my home city.
Oh, nice!
And I took their analytics engineering course. I liked that, and I applied for a job at Indicium too, and I was accepted. While I was doing the master's degree, I got accepted at Indicium. Indicium is where I learned all the fundamentals of data, SQL. Wow. That's where I learned DBT From day zero of my career, I was working with DBT. DBT is part of my whole career since the beginning. And I'm very thankful for that. Okay, I was learning those tools, those fundamentals, and I was trying to understand DBT better. I started making some like notes for myself, and I created that DBT cheat sheet because it's a way for me to remember the commands, because you have a lot of commands and ways to develop with DBT. So I did that for myself, and I showed my superiors that. And there's a guy that's very important in my career, and in this one, his name is Daniel Avancini. He loved that, and he said, you should share that with the community. I didn't know what the DBT community was. That's when I joined.
Wow.
And I share my cheat sheet.
Yes.
And people really liked that. I was surprised. I didn't know that people would like that. I felt good that people were really using that. People sent me pictures that they printed the cheat sheet.
Wow.
And then, okay, I have to do more. I want to create more content. I want to help people. I want to be helped too. And that's how I joined the community. After that, people started to know who I was. And then I got the job at PH Data. At PH Data, I was able to start doing DBT Cloud demos for DBT Labs officially and to speak at Coalesce. And now I'm planning for more different types of content for this year too.
Okay, man, bravo. This is impressive. You know, I've seen, Bruno, that you've shared several resources on LinkedIn, for example. I saw the cheat sheet, maybe 500 likes, lots of comments, very, very popular. And yet, from what you're sharing in your story, Bruno, you were not the expert. When you started to create the cheat sheet and things, you were still learning.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good point. I was a beginner at DBT. You don't need to be an expert in anything you want to contribute. You can start sharing what you are learning. Other people are learning too. There are a lot of other beginners like you. If you share your knowledge, what you are learning, you will help other people. Sometimes you have experts that doesn't know a fundamental thing. Like I can be a SQL expert, but I don't know, I forgot or I'm not aware of a basic thing of SQL, and some beginner can teach me that. Start contributing. It doesn't matter your level of expertise.
That's a really good lesson, Bruno. So Bruno, we love to hear your successes, Bruno. It's very motivational, but we want to hear some of the struggles, some of the data disasters, because we all go through it. One question that I have, I think a lot of engineers struggle with this. How do you deal with communicating technical insights to non-technical stakeholders?
Yeah, that's something I want to be better with, like my communication skills, my soft skills. I'm a very technical person, and I'm an introvert too. Now I work 100% of the time in another language, English. My mother language is Portuguese. You don't communicate in another language like in your mother language, but you can always find a way to find the words. And that aligned with my being an introvert. And when you picture a nerd in your head, that's what I was or I am. I'm trying to change that. But one thing that I know that a lot of people struggle with is communicating technical things to stakeholders. That's very hard. I don't have an answer of how you should do that, but sometimes the stakeholders want to see like new products, new things that bring value. And a lot of things we do, it's hard to show the value. If you just say yes for your stakeholder every time and you're just trying to make things fast and bring more things.
Yes.
You start to accumulate a lot of tech debt, and then you get to a point where you say, okay, I'm adding a lot of new products, but my project is a mess, and I need some time like to clean the house. But the stakeholder don't want you to do that because he might think that you are doing nothing because you are not bringing more things he can see. But that's very important. My only tip for that is you need to know how to set the bars with the stakeholder. because the stakeholder will want you to move mountains, and sometimes you can't do that. You need to say, okay, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do, this is how much I will take. And sometimes you have to make him understand what he really needs. This is a very good example.
Yes.
A lot of stakeholders want streaming data, like to check the dashboard once a month. And streaming data is much more complex than just batch data. And sometimes you have to help the stakeholder, give him like thought leadership, and say, okay, this is what you want, and this is the best way to do that. This is what you really need. You think you need that, but what you really need is this. Make him understand. Be his partner.
Wow. Bruno, you said a lot there that I find really interesting, and I want to dig into a couple of the areas. First, Bruno, you used the word thought leadership, and you also shared, very kind of you to share, that your personality, maybe you are a bit more of an introvert, plus you're very technical. So putting together thought leadership with introvert and technical, sometimes people think, oh, you can't put those two together. They think if you're very technical, you just want to create pipelines and models and do transformation all the time. How did you get comfortable with creating content? And did it help you with your communication?
If you are an introvert and are a bit shy like me, the first thing you can do is like just create content that you don't need to show your face. Like you don't need to create videos, you don't need to post pictures of yourself. You just create content and people will see the content. And for me, that's the easiest way to like start making content. I can't promise anything, but I'll try to put my face more in my content this year, and maybe start videos, but let's see.
You can do it, Bruno.
But and then if you want to go like this step above to start showing your face and doing things like that, then there is no escape. You have to leave your comfort zone and start make things you feel uncomfortable with. For example, for this very conversation, I was very nervous before. I'm sweating a bit here, but like and one thing that I like to think is that people care less about you than you think. Like if you do some mistake, people will not care. They will forget that, and you don't need to worry too much about that. And that's hard. I know that don't need to worry, but I worry, and that's something you have to practice. And each time you do that, it gets better.
Man, I tell you, Bruno, I have a lot of respect for you because there are things that we are all naturally good at and things that we're not so good at. Everybody has this. Most of us like to stay in the comfort zone where we're good. But a lot of times there are rewards for us if sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes we go a little bit outside of that comfort zone, but it's very hard to do.
Yeah.
So a lot of respect for what you're doing here, Bruno, and you're giving us an example. I think it will help a lot of other analytics engineers and data analysts.
Yeah, thanks. And yeah, you were right that that's not easy. Every time I have to present something, I get very nervous before. Then after it starts, you get a bit better. You had to see us at Coalesce before the fireside chat at the main stage for the community.
Yeah, you were on the main stage, Bruno.
Yeah, together with Jenna and Opwe. They are awesome too. And we were almost passing out backstage. We were so nervous. And that's another example. Like the three of us, we got like the community award prize. And we are not natural extroverts. We are shy. We are living our comfort zone. They are very good examples of awesome community members too.
Yeah, that's good. I remember you mentioning after that you were nervous, but yet to those of us in the audience, we didn't notice, except you actually said, this is important. Yeah. You said on the stage that you felt nervous. And for those of us in the audience, it actually made us feel more connected to you because some people, when you see them on stage, they look professional. They look comfortable. They look like, oh, I do this every day. And then you are thinking, oh, I could never do that. So to see somebody who is like us, who is sweating and gets nervous, we're like, wow, Okay, if Bruno could do it, maybe I could do it.
Yeah, exactly. This is something that I like to do. I don't like to pretend I'm not nervous. I like people to know my vulnerabilities.
Yes, perfect.
Uh, and that makes me feel, and talking to Oppo and Jenna
Yes.
after, they said when you said that, we also felt better.
You
Then
see?
it's like the pressure
Yes.
decreases a bit.
Yes, magic, magic. I love that. I love that. Thank you for that, Bruno. Thank you for that. I want to ask about another kind of data disaster question, Bruno. This one is a bit more technical. Sometimes, of course, as data professionals, we deal with debugging all the time. How do you approach debugging a pipeline or a model when everything seems to be going wrong?
Okay, right. Yeah, first let's take the pipeline example. First thing, implement your DBT tests, your data tests, your unit tests, your
Yes.
monitoring, because that helps a lot. If you have a problem, your test will catch that, and the test will indicate what the problem was. Maybe with just that, you know, okay, this was the problem. And then one thing that's very good to understand is this was working yesterday, or and it's not working today. You see, okay, when it stopped working, and you can say, okay, what were the changes we made
Like it.
in this interval of time, and then you can say, okay,
Yes.
we have this problem, we have this
Yes.
change, maybe it was that. That's a way you can investigate, and that most of the times solves the problem too. And other example, when you are implementing a new pipeline, for example, new product, and it's not working for the first time, you haven't made it work yet. And it's a very complex pipeline. For example, one very good thing you can do is break this pipeline into small pieces, and then you can work each piece. And first thing, it makes it looks easier. It makes it look easier. I had that problem. I had a test to implement a very big pipeline, and it was like looking impossible to me to do that, and it was very hard. And then my leader said, okay, let's break this whole pipeline into small tasks, and then everything started flowing. And then I
Wow.
could, okay, this is what I was doing wrong. Now that I see that in more detailed, tiny pieces, I can understand it better.
I love this. I'm enjoying this a lot, Bruno, because, I'll be transparent. I'm not a data professional myself, although I do have a computer science undergraduate degree. So I learned programming, I learned SQL when I was younger. But this is why your debugging approach really resonates with me. I have two sons. My younger son really loves programming. Since he was 6 years old, he's been into programming. But he would get so mad, Bruno, when the program would not work. So mad. Okay, I would do some of the things that you suggested without even connecting it to any particular study or principle. I'm just like, okay, when did it stop working? Okay, can we revert some of the changes? Let's go back to when it was working. Or I would say, okay, is this part working? All right, let's separate that. How about this? So you are sharing some approaches, I think, that are fundamental, but I think they can work not just for my 6-year-old son, but even
Yeah.
for someone who is building modern data stacks for enterprises.
Yeah, and just a parenthesis here. I love that you mentioned your personal story and how you can connect
Yes.
like problem solving in data and problem solving at home with your kids, and that's a very good point on how you have so many people into data from different backgrounds, because they like the data field is, if you are from a different field, you can for sure bring some of your experience into data, and that's awesome. The ability of taking an experience, a problem solving
Yes.
experience you had in a field, and transporting to data, it's a thing that
Yes.
will help you in your career.
Wow.
like this.
That's really exciting to me, Bruno. When I was at Coalesce a few months ago, I met so many members of the community, so many data professionals. Almost none of them, Bruno, studied
Yeah.
data in university. They were engineers. Some people studied political science. But to your point, really, data touches every part of our lives. And there's something from every area of study, I think, that we could bring to the data industry.
Yeah, totally.
This is good. This is good. So, Bruno, I wonder if you could share maybe like a success story that's related to the community.
Okay. Yeah, just one point. So I am a member of the community since the start of my career, not the start of the community, because there are a lot of people I see that were in the community from the very start. And
Yes.
I have a lot of I appreciate their work, and it was like good to meet those people at Coalesce, and because I see Slack comments from like I know 5 years ago, and people were already there years before me, and I had the chance to meet them at Coalesce.
Wow.
That's very great. And okay, but answering your question, yeah, I think the one thing that I'm very proud of is getting the community award 2 times, 23 and 2024. It's good to look back when I was just writing that DBT cheat sheet and how 1.5 year later I was being nominated community spotlight. I think that's the biggest success I can share about the community, and I'm very proud of this work, and I like helping people and also being helped because I ask a lot of questions in Slack too.
That's great. That's very encouraging. A year and a half going from learning the DBT commands to being nominated for a community award twice. Well done. Well done. As I think of some of our other data friends who are watching this right now or listening on their podcast app, and maybe they are earlier in their journey, I wonder what advice you might have, Bruno, for somebody who wants to advance their career in data analytics.
Okay, right. So maybe there are a few. Share your knowledge, share what you are learning. It doesn't matter if it's very basic. You can do that by creating very good, pretty content, or just writing a few sentences on LinkedIn or Slack or in your company's internal tool. And you will start to connect with people because of that. People will comment, people will help you, will bring more to that topic. Start helping people, and you'll feel that people will start helping you too. The other topic that I think it's very important is have a mentor. Maybe it's one of the most important things in your career.
Wow.
I was not aware of that at the beginning of my career. I thought, okay, I don't need a mentor. I'm doing things. I'm learning. I'm progressing my career. I don't need someone telling me what I have to do. I know what to do. But when I started learning more, I started realizing that it's very good to have a mentor, to have someone that maybe went through the same situations as you. They can share their experience. They will not tell you what you have to do. You will decide what you will do, but they will give you much more insight. They will give you another view of the situation that maybe you are not seeing. That there's a lot of types of mentors. You can have a paid mentor. There are a lot of professionals that are very good. I have already paid someone to mentor me. I don't regret it. But what I try to do more is try making people close to your mentor. You can have like a friend, a colleague, a leader, a boss. Start asking help for them. You will realize that people are much more willing to help you than you think.
Wow.
And you can tell your boss, okay, I'm having this problem. What do you think I should do? Maybe the person has already been through that, and they will for sure help you more than you think. And that's what I do now. Like there's a guy, I love him, Dakota Kelly from PH Data. I consider him my mentor. That helps a lot in your career. You'll progress much faster.
Wow. Let me tell you right now, Bruno, you are helping someone in a major way. I was very similar to you, Bruno, early in my career. I don't know. I guess when I was young, in school, even in university, I always thought, I don't need help. I can do it myself. But then you realize, I'm actually teaching this to my kids now. You realize that in school, a lot of the work you do, a lot of your grades are only up to you. But I think from university and definitely in the corporate world, when you get a job, almost everything is a group project. You have to depend on other people. So you need to actually have that skill to know when to ask for help. And even if you don't need help, to know when to share what you're doing.
Yeah.
But you have to share what you're doing because the mentor won't force you to do what they would do, but they give you a different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, they will. They can even tell you what they would do or what they did. Maybe they gone through the same situation, but they will not say, okay, you have to do this. They will just say, okay, this is what I think, this is what I did, and give you more things to consider for your case. And just one more thing that you mentioned,
Yes.
that today, different from school, for example, now.
Yes.
You have to work in a group. You always have to share, to be dependent of other people. And there's something I heard. I found it very interesting. Centuries ago, you could say, okay, who invented for example, the telephone? Who invented the radio or things like that? You can name individuals that made very revolutionary things. But now you say, okay, who made ChatGPT? It's not one person that built that, Now I think everything revolutionary you see in the world right now, it's made by groups, like large groups of people. Of course, you can have exceptions, but I think now the rule is all of the stuff are done by groups of people, and you need to work. You need to know how to work in a group if you want to build something.
Yes.
Great.
I love that. I love that. There's a saying that I heard, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah.
So going alone is almost always faster, but eventually you reach a ceiling. You reach a limit of what you can do by yourself.
Yeah. Like when you are alone, you don't have to write documentation. You don't have to ask others to review your code. You don't need to do any of that. But,
That's right.
Yeah. But if you want to build something great or do a really great job, you probably will need a group to work with you.
I love this. I love this. All right. So everyone, if you don't have one yet, get a mentor and also start to build those communication skills for sharing your work, asking for help, and even maybe start playing with thought leadership like Bruno has done. I have one more big question for you, Bruno. I want to know your data aspirations. So where does Bruno see himself in 5 years?
Okay. This is a very hard question to answer because probably in 5 years you have new jobs we don't know.
That's true.
Right now. So I can give an answer right now and the reality will be completely different. But what I imagine right now, I like working at Pitch Data. One possibility that I consider is having a leadership position at my current company at Pitch Data. And for that, I need to work more on my communication skills, soft skills, also my English, because that's what I want to focus on right now. Because I think I'm very good technically, but I know which my weaknesses are, and I want to focus on that. And one thing that it's not like I always thought about having something my own, going to the entrepreneurship.
Yes, entrepreneurship.
But not sure how to do that right now. Maybe I'll have a great idea later. But that's are the paths I see, going to a leadership position or doing something of my own.
This is exciting, Bruno. I think we see nothing but greatness in your future. Of course, there will be challenges, but I think you have a very good approach, not only for debugging pipelines and models and code, but also debugging problems in life.
That was good.
I think you will be very successful. Bruno, this has been a lot of fun. My friend, I'm hopeful, as I mentioned to you before we started recording, my wife and I would love to visit Brazil. So when we get our acts together, I will let you know so you can tell me where I should visit, if that's okay.
No, yeah, for sure. And thank you for inviting me to this conversation. It was really fun. I was very nervous at the beginning. Now I feel a bit better. But you are an awesome person. It was awesome to talk to you. And yeah, for sure, when you will have plans to come to Brazil, let me know, and I can give you the ways.
You're very kind, my friend. Best wishes to your lovely fiancée as well. I got to meet her at Coalesce. Yeah. You all are an amazing couple. Folks, we've been talking to Bruno, and he's Florianopolis' favorite son. He is representing data analysts and engineers everywhere. We're really proud of the work that you're doing. Thank you, Bruno.
Thank you, Bolaji. Best wishes for you and your family too.
Thank you, my friend. All right, folks. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now. This show is brought to you by DBT. DBT is the industry standard for data transformation. It allows your team to prepare data for analysis in a way that's centralized, modular, and entirely open, all inside your cloud data platform. The outcome? Consistently dependable analytics for your organization. Now, the DBT community was built for and by data pros. Come hang out and transform with 70,000 of the brightest analytics engineers, data analysts, and data scientists in the world. With DBT, you transform your data. With the DBT community, you transform your data career.